the P2 information back together again, so I can copy that to a P2 card. Of course, I could go ahead if I wanted to and directly put this on a P2 card. If I wanted to go browse, go back to my desktop, I could actually put it right back on the card. I'm not going to do this in this particular example, but I think it would be no problem to do that and take that over to another editing system if you needed to. For example, maybe you needed to bring it to a Final Cut system or an Avid system. Not a bad workflow to do that. So again, keeping P2 and MXF where necessary. So that's a quick look at our information. I'll let this render out for a second and show you that folder. Okay, now that that's finished exporting that P2 file, let's go take a look at it and just see how it's put together. Here's the folder that it put together, the standard MXF format. So we'll look at this, and here's the structure of the file. I see my video here and my audio's together, and I've got my thumbnails and so forth exactly the way that I would expect it to. And if I jump back over to Premiere, it went ahead and added it to the timeline. So I'm going to go ahead and just say New Sequence and say OK. Let's go ahead and just put this back on the timeline here, and you'll see that here's my whole movie with all my titles and everything that I would expect to see exactly the way that it was, right, with my little After Effects piece there. And if I want to go ahead and play that back, I can see my little After Effects animation come in there. That looks kind of nice and just working great. Now, what about mixing formats? That's another thing that a lot of people ask us about. You know, hey, I've got some HDV footage, or I've got footage from a helmet cam or one of these special types of cameras that are out there. What about mixing footage? Let's take a look at that. Let's go ahead and import another piece of footage here, and I'll just grab one of these HDV files that I've got. And here's an HDV file. I'm going to go ahead and let's just put it on the timeline down here. And I can mix and match this if I wanted to go ahead and do some sort of picture-in-picture. But just to show you, here's the file here. It's actually a turtle that I rescued. But anyway, here's the file. Playing back, really nice. If I go ahead and just play some of this back, you'll see the little guy there, or big guy, I guess, walking across the dock there. But this is HDV playing inside of my P2 project, just working great. I can go ahead and step through this and see that. So anyway, let's go ahead and just take this piece of footage. I can go ahead and do the types of things I would expect to do with this clip. Let me just back this up a little bit and go ahead and mix and match this exactly the way that I would expect it to. So now I've got HDV playing on top of P2 footage. Again, with Premiere, we can mix and match formats. This kind of looks like a bad Godzilla episode where I've got Gamera attacking Annapolis. But anyway, you can kind of get an idea of the flexibility that Premiere gives you. What about other types of formats? Let's go down and import another piece of footage here. This is actually an underwater camera that I stuck in my fish tank just to play with that. And it's actually in a DivX format, so I went ahead and converted that to a format. But what you'll see is Premiere doesn't care that the size of this particular screen is 740x480 at a 16:9. It actually makes a very nice picture-in-picture as I've got these fish sort of swimming on top of these sailboats. And I can do whatever I want to do with this. If I want to come over here and add a bevel, and just start getting creative, it really doesn't make a difference. Premiere is going to allow me just to get as creative as I want to. Now I've kind of got this beautiful beveled edge here and go ahead and play some of that out. So just a wonderful way to edit. Again, mixing formats in the new P2, absolutely no problem.